Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Delta Math walkthrough. Today we are going to be finding angles in using trigonometry. And you'll notice that's the only trigonometry topic here. The rest are on parabolas. So let's take a quick look at that. Oh, I asked you to do a lot of them because it's quick. So let me show you how quick this can be. Okay, I go in here. I want to solve for x. Okay, x is an angle, and I need to round to the nearest tenth of a degree. This is the hypotenuse. This is the adjacent. So I know that 2 divided by 3.6 is equal to the cosine of this angle here, okay? So this is going to be a cosine that equals 0.55. So I go in here, trigonometry, take the second function cosine, and then that tells me that that's angle 56.2 degrees. And it says round to the nearest tenth of a degree. So they want 56.3 because that 5 makes it round up. 56.3. So I put in 56.3 and I push enter. I push enter again, and it tells me I'm correct. Hooray! Do that 13 times so that you can get some practice, people. All right, now let's talk about graphing parabolas and stating properties, and finding the axis of symmetry in the vertex. This is what I particularly want to talk about. Okay? When we're thinking about parabolas, there's really like 3 points, 4 points that are really cool, really important to think about in different situations. Let's say we're talking about a rocket, and the rocket is launched off of this building here. Okay, here's a building, and the building is conveniently placed right along the y-axis there. And the rocket starts right there, and it goes up, reaches some point, and comes down. And I want to know the answers to the following questions. How high was the rocket? How high was the rocket here when it was launched? How high was the rocket when it reached its top point? And where does it come down? Okay, and so that would be that point. All right, now each of these different points has a different name. This is the y-intercept. And if I continued this parabola back in time, it would have a zero down there. But this is like doesn't exist in the world, right? It gets launched at time zero. So this is the only part that we're considering. This here is the vertex, and that's what we're focused on finding today. And then this is one of the roots or zeros or solutions to the parabola where it touches the x-axis, also called an x-intercept. That's what we were looking at yesterday with factoring. And when you're graphing parabolas, you're going to do all of those different things, okay? So if we take a look at the axis of symmetry and the vertex with a formula, okay? With these, you're going to be finding vertexes by using negative b over 2a. And I'll show you how to do that. Let's say this parabola here, I'm just going to zoom out so I can have a bit more space to work. Let's say this parabola is given by this function here. Y is equal to negative 1 over 2 x squared plus 5, let's do 6 actually, plus 6x plus 10. Okay, let me just graph that into Desmos, and I'll show you that it indeed looks kind of like that. And you want to do this. You want to be graphing in Desmos quite frequently to develop your intuition and your understanding of these things. Negative 1 over 2 multiplied by x squared plus, I said 6x plus what? Plus 10, I think I said. Okay, so now let me see if I just got that right. Yeah, that's what I said. And I said it's going to look something like this. And you're saying, no, Mr. Jennings, that just looks like a line. Well, it's because I'm zoomed way too far in. There's the top of the building. There's where it reaches its maximum at 628. So 28 is its highest point. And then it hits the ground at 13 meters, let's say, or 13 feet or 13 millimeters, depends on what your scale is, away from the base of the building. All right, cool. So now let's see if we can find this number using negative b over 2a. Okay, so this is what you do. So one thing that I remember from the quadratic formula is that the value negative b over 2a, is it an emergency? No, then give me a second. Votre classe? Ok, très bien. Allons-y, jouez. So over here, negative b over 2a gives me the value, the x value of the axis of symmetry. Okay, negative b is this number, but negative, and then 2a is that number. All right, so let's see. Negative b over 2a is going to be the equation of the axis of symmetry of this parabola. The axis of symmetry always crosses through the vertex. So here, negative b is negative 6 over 2 times this value. So 2 multiplied by negative 1 over 2. Okay, and that's equal to negative 6 over 2 times negative 1/2 is negative 1. This is equal to 6. Negative 6 divided by negative 1 is 6. If you write this down as a final answer on a math test, it's not wrong, but it's not right. Because why would you? I'm negative 42 divided by negative 1 years old, everyone. That's a strange way of saying my age, wouldn't you say?
I don't get anything.
Yeah, right. She doesn't get any information from that. And she's already in grade 1. She doesn't understand what I'm saying. But if I tell you I'm 42 years old, you know what I'm talking about?
So
She's already not paying attention. Okay, all right. Maybe that's your story too. Okay, so now what do I know? I know that the x value of this parabola here, this vertex is some point with an x value of 6 and a y value. Let's see if we had that on Desmos. Indeed we do. Look, the x value is 6. How do I find the y value, Mr. Jennings? You plug and chug. You plug it into the formula and chug it. Okay, so let me maximize this. And I'm going to take this value of 6 equals x, and I'm going to say y equals negative 1/2 multiplied by 6 squared plus 6 times 6 plus 10. No, just hang out on your own, Zara. I'll be available to you in a minute. Y is equal to negative 1 over 2 multiplied by 36 plus 36 plus 10. 6 times 6 is 36 there and there. It's just a coincidence. And then y is equal to negative 1/2 times 36. Well, that's negative 18 plus 36 plus 10. That is equal to 28. Final answer. So therefore, the vertex of this rocket, the rocket reaches its highest point at 6 meters horizontally and 28 meters vertically. That's valuable information to get about the rocket. Okay, so that's how you use negative b over 2a to find a vertex. If you thought that was easier than completing a square, you're probably not alone. I agree. I think it's easier than completing the square, but you do want to learn how to complete the square, and we're covering that tomorrow. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Find the coordinates of the vertex by the following parabola algebraically. Write your answer as an xy point. So they want you to do negative b over 2a. Negative 8 divided by 2 times a. A in this case is 1. Negative 8 times over 2 is negative 4. So now I input negative 4 for x for all of these. I know my answer is going to have an x value of negative 4, okay? And that's negative b over 2a. Sorry, there. Negative 4, comma, and then my y value is negative 4 squared is positive 16, plus 8 times negative 4. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. Negative 32 plus 32 is 0, so I have this y value is 16. Submit answer, enter. Wow, Mr. Jennings, you can do these in your head. Yeah, you should practice too. You should practice doing these in your head too, so that you can get your delta math done really quick and you get more practice faster. Okay, but if you need to do these on paper, absolutely do these on paper. Let me show you one where I do it on paper. Okay, here. Oops, make that smaller. Get some fresh paper. Okay, now negative b over 2a is equal to, this number is b, so negative 24 is 24. Okay, negative of a negative is a positive, divided by 2 times a. So 2 times 2 is 4. So this is equal to 24 times divided by 4 is 6. Okay, so that's the value of the x value. Now input 6 in for x. Y is equal to 2 times 6 squared, because that's x is 6, minus 24 times 6, because x is 6, plus 88. Okay, and this one is hard for me to do in my head. Y is equal to 2 times 36, which is 72, 24 times 6, which is 24 times 6 is 100 and 44? Yeah, 144. This is 144. Yeah, so minus 144. My favorite number. Okay, plus 88. Okay, and then I do 72 minus 144, which is negative 72, plus 88. Negative 72 plus 88, well, that is 16. Whoa, we got a similar answer as before, 16. Okay, so let's try it. 6 comma 16. I think it wants brackets. I think it wants you to put brackets in, or else it says it doesn't like it. Yay! So see how they did it. They found A, they found B, they found C, but they only used B and A there. They plugged it in, and they found the x value of the vertex, the axis of symmetry. Plug this in to find the y coordinate. Exactly what I did. Wow, isn't that cool? Okay, so that's how you do those problem types. Next, vertex to standard form. I want you to get some practice, again, expanding these to standard form. So the way you do that is you just use Bedmus. Okay? You say y is equal to negative 4 multiplied by x minus 4 squared plus 7. So I think, well, do brackets first because Bedmus. Can't do it because x minus 4 is x minus 4. Can't simplify anymore. Next, do exponents. Y is equal to negative 4 times x minus 4 times x minus 4 plus 7. Try to get along or separate if you can't get along. Y is equal to negative 4 times, now we do our, you draw your little rainbows. Or maybe I should use a rainbow pen to draw my rainbows. Do your rainbows here. Okay. So I now know x times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Oh, it's the same. And negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16 plus 7. Okay, now still have work to do inside the brackets. Y is equal to negative 4 times x squared minus 8x plus 16 plus 7. Okay, and then you multiply this into your brackets with more rainbows. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's a double rainbow. It's so beautiful. Oh, a triple rainbow. Okay, it's so beautiful. Okay, so then we get y is equal to negative 4 times x squared. So it's negative 4x squared minus 8x times negative 4 is plus 32x. Minus 4 times 16 is minus 64 plus 7. One last thing to do is collect these terms. Y equals negative 4x squared plus 32x minus 64 plus 7 is minus 57. Hello, Mr. Man.
Daddy,
Yes, Miles.
play with me now?
Play with you now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am going to do that. And my students are like, but Mr. Jennings, you're not done the walkthrough yet. There's going to be a walkthrough in 2 parts because I have a personal life, as you can well tell. And so I'm going to go tend to my personal life so I'm ready for the meetings at 12:15. So yeah, that involves getting lunch ready. Okay, and then I just typed this in, 32x minus 57.
On this?
No, please don't use those on there.
Why?
Because they're going to draw lines on there, and I don't want lines on there, and they don't work. So there's the answer to your question and why I don't want you to test it. Yay! Okay, they did exactly the same thing as Mr. Jennings. It's almost like the Delta Math is multiplying my power as a teacher because it allows you to see many more examples very quickly. Okay, so that's how you do these types of things, everybody. I've got some more X game for you and just more factoring practice. And actually, no, I've covered everything except for graphing parabolas here. You go in here and you're going to say, well, this one, I'm going to find the vertex by using negative b over 2a, what I saw there. And then I'm going to find the roots by factoring. Okay, so here, I'll show you. If I factor this, I'm going to get positive 7 and positive 1 are the roots. And then the vertex is lying in between them at 4. And when I input 4 here, this is 16 minus 8 times 4 is minus, so I have minus 16 plus 7. Minus 16 plus 7 gives me negative 9. Is that right? Is that right? Negative 9 here, negative 9, 4. Okay, and I'll plot 2 more points. Boop, boop. I think that's the parabola. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, there. So that's doing it in my head. That's the end of the Delta Math walkthrough. Go do it, everybody. Bye for now. Find me with your